Hello, students of class 8. This is the online class after the midterm. So we are going to start with chapter 4, that is education and the British rule. We all know that Britishers, they came to India as the traders, and after that they started ruling our country. So in this ruling of the country, they have already imposed their right into every territories of India, into every activities of the Indian people. So right now in this chapter, we are going to learn that how they are going to educate the Indian people, because they think that Indians are uncivilized people. Clear? Now, before the Britishers, when they came to India, system of education in India very flexible. There were pathshalas and madrasas in which a few students were taught by their teacher. There were no prescribed textbook. All teachings were imparted through orally. There's no book at all. So there was no fixed curriculum. There were no teacher taught whatever he deemed best for his students. Sanskrit, Persians, and mathematics were the most popular subject. Science and geography, they were being taught. There was also no system of examination. Teacher had a lot of freedom, quite unlike the system prevalent which is today. So, Orientalist. Here what you can see, children, two of the group, they have been divided for the modernizations of the Indian education. One is Orientalist and one is an Anglicist. Clear? Now, the linguistic name Sir William Jones, he arrived in Calcutta in 1783. During his stay in India, he started developing an interest in the Sanskrit language. He studied ancient Indian texts on a different subject and translated many of them. So, he believed that he is going to serve two purposes. One is, it would help the British to know about the Indian culture, and it would help Indians understand their own history and rediscover their lost heritage. Clear? So, with the help of the other like-minded people, William Jones, what he did, he set up the Asiatic Society of Bengal in 1784. He argued that Indian learning should be promoted in India. He wanted the government to set up their institutions where only ancient Indian texts could be taught. Sanskrit and Persians were to be the medium of instruction. Clear? So the Governor General at that time was Warren Hastings. He was a supporter of the Orientalist, and he helped up building a madrasa in Calcutta to promote the study of Islamic law. In 1792, Jonathan Duncan, he set up the Banaras Sanskrit College at Banaras, now you know as Varanasi, to encourage the study of the ancient Sanskrit texts. So, Orientalists, they are really into the study related to the Sanskrit language. Now, just the opposite is the Anglicist. Many of the Britishers, they did not agree with the Orientalist version of learning. So, they believed that Indian learning were very unscientific and often supported as superstitious. Clear? So, James Mill was one of them. Okay, he was one of the pioneer. And he said that his opinions were quite useful. Education needed to be practical. Anglicists felt that Indian should be imparted the Western knowledge. So his view was supported by whom? Lord Thomas Macaulay. He believed that Oriental learning was completely inferior to the European learning. So Western learning through the medium of English was the best option in India, and today till now we are learning in English languages. Clear? Now next one is the promotion of education. Now it was a Charter Act of 1813 that it provided that a sum of 1 lakh to be spent annually on spreading the Western education. Issues such as the nature of education, modern Western studies or traditional Indian learning, and the medium of instruction, English or vernacular, were also unresolved. Okay, so this issue was resolved in 1835 when the English Education Act was passed, and it was decided what? That the money allotted for the education would be spent on promoting Western education through the medium of English. And thus the government stopped supporting the Oriental institution. That means the government, they were in favor of the Western education rather than the Sanskrit. So next one is very important one, children. It is a Wood's Dispatch of 1854. In 1854, the English East India Company, they sent an educational dispatch to India, and it came to be known as the Wood's Dispatch. Okay, now this was a dispatch specially given more emphasis into the value of Western learning, and it outlined many benefits such as an education. Western learning would enable Indians to realize the advantages of expanding trade and commerce. Then Western learning would impose Indian to the Western ways of life and create in India as a demand for the British goods. Western learning would develop among Indians the skill required for the administration and to ensure a continuous supply of people to work at a lower level of the government. So these are certain things that has been written in the Wood Dispatch of 1854. Okay, but the most important thing regarding the Wood Dispatch, he also set forth a comprehensive scheme of promoting education in India. Okay. Number one is that spreading education from primary level to the university level. Schools, colleges and universities needed to be set up. Medium of instruction at the primary level will be vernacular, that means in any languages, while the higher level it will be the English. Education departments have to be set up at all provinces. They were to supervise education and provide financial aid to run the education department. Then teacher recruitment and training institutions also need to be support or set up all over the country. Okay, children. So this much for today. In the next video, I'm going to continue with the flaws in the education under the British. Okay, children. Thank you.